Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a significant challenge for anyone working with the Department of Defense or, handling sensitive government data. That challenge is achieving and maintaining CMMC compliance. We've got a good amount of information here about CyberComply, which is a platform from Armada Cyber Defense, and, well, our mission today is really to cut through the complexity.
Yeah, try and make sense of it all.
Exactly. Understand what this platform offers and, frankly, why it's such a critical tool for navigating these cybersecurity requirements. Okay, let's unpack this.
Absolutely. And, if you're involved in the defense industrial base, the DIB, or if you handle controlled unclassified information, CUI, well, you're probably very aware of the growing pressure to meet these really stringent cybersecurity standards.
No doubt.
So understanding how platforms like CyberComply can maybe streamline this whole process, it's more important now than ever, really.
Okay, so before we dive deep into CyberComply itself, maybe let's just make sure we're all on the same page of the basic.
Good idea.
What exactly is controlled unclassified information, CUI? And, why is it so crucial that organizations protect it?
Right. So controlled unclassified information, CUI, it's essentially sensitive government data. Now, it's not classified like top secret or secret, but it still requires really robust safeguarding.
Okay, so sensitive but not classified. What kind of stuff are we talking about?
Think of things like technical specifications, maybe intellectual property related to a government contract, controlled technical information, basically information that, if it got into the wrong hands, could potentially harm national security or other government interests.
Okay, makes sense. Like blueprints for a new military vehicle part, maybe?
That's a perfect example, yeah, that kind of data. And the need to protect this specific type of information is really why we have frameworks like CMMC popping up and becoming so critical.
Right, which brings us neatly to the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, or CMMC. What's the main goal behind this framework?
Well, the CMMC is really designed to verify that organizations within the defense industrial base, and honestly anyone handling CUI, that they actually have the necessary cybersecurity practices and processes in place, to protect that information properly.
And it's tiered, right? Different levels.
Exactly. It's a tiered system. Different levels of maturity sort of indicate how sophisticated an organization's cybersecurity is. For today, we'll mostly be focusing on CMMC levels 1 and 2 because CyberComply is specifically built to help organizations hit those compliance levels.
Got it. So understanding that tiered approach, it's pretty clear that organizations need tools specifically tailored to their required level. Which brings us back to CyberComply. What exactly is it? What's the problem it's trying to solve?
So CyberComply from Armada Cyber Defense is what's generally called a GRC platform, Government Risk and Compliance. What's, I think, particularly noteworthy here is that it's been built specifically from the ground up, really, to tackle the challenges of CMMC compliance.
Okay, so it's not just a generic GRC tool adapted for CMMC.
No, it seems purpose-built. It's aimed squarely at organizations handling CUI. So defense contractors, manufacturers, service providers working with DoD data, that's the target audience. The core problem it's solving, it's that often overwhelming complexity and, frankly, the administrative headache that comes with figuring out and meeting all the CMMC requirements.
Right. It sounds like the idea isn't just about, checking off boxes for an audit. It's more about making the whole compliance thing manageable, maybe even sustainable long term.
Precisely. The ultimate aim is to simplify what can feel like a really daunting process. By providing this kind of centralized platform, it guides you through the specific requirements, helps you build a strong security foundation, and then helps you maintain it over time.
Okay, let's get into the specifics then. What does CyberComply actually offer? If we're looking at CMMC Level 2, what are some of the key features we should know about?
Yeah, the Level 2 offering in CyberComply looks pretty comprehensive. It lines up directly with CMMC Level 2 requirements, which, as you probably know, are based on NIST SP 800-171 Revision 2.
Right, NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. That's the bedrock standard.
Exactly. And CMMC Level 2 focuses on what's often called intermediate cyber hygiene. So what's included? Well, first, the complete set of 110 security controls from NIST 800-171, and those break down further into over 320 specific subcontrols.
Wow, okay. That's a lot to manage.
It is, and to handle security and data isolation, they mentioned that each instance of CyberComply is deployed in its own isolated, containerized environment.
Like a separate little bubble for each customer.
Sort of, yeah. And each one gets its own dedicated SSL certificate, too, for secure communication.
Okay, that sounds like a solid security foundation just for the platform itself. What else helps organizations actually implement all those controls?
Well, you also get very detailed implementation guidance
Yeah.
for every single control and subcontrol.
So not just what you need to do, but how to do it.
Exactly. It's meant to be practical, actionable advice on how your organization can actually meet these requirements. Plus, the platform auto-generates a system security plan and SSP. That's a really crucial document outlining how you're implementing security.
Auto-generates.
Yeah.
That sounds useful.
Yeah, and the good part is this auto-generated SSP is fully editable, so you can customize it to fit your specific environment. It also automatically creates a plan of action and milestones, the POANM.
Ah, the POANM. Essential for tracking gaps.
Absolutely vital. It documents any areas where you're not quite compliant yet and outlines the steps you're taking to fix those gaps. You know, what's really quite helpful about the auto-generated SSP and POANM is how it just takes that initial heavy lift off your shoulders,
Right.
allowing you to focus more on the specific details of your own setup. But it's important to remember these are starting points. You still absolutely need to customize them.
So it doesn't just point out where you need to go, but it gives you a pretty significant head start on the documentation side. That seems incredibly helpful.
Exactly. And there's a scoping feature, too, which sounds valuable. It lets you define which specific systems and data are actually in scope for your CMMC assessment.
Ah, so you can tailor the SSP and POANM to only what's relevant. Makes them more actionable.
Right. And then there's the evidence upload capability. You can directly attach your proof, things like screenshots, system logs, policy documents directly to each control or subcontrol within the platform.
Okay, keeping everything organized in one place.
Mm-hmm. And to simplify things even further, they provide policy and procedure templates. These cover all 14 of the CMMC domains.
Oh, wow. That could save organizations a massive amount of time, not having to write all those policies from scratch.
Potentially, yes. A huge amount of time and effort.
And for anyone, maybe sweating an upcoming audit, it sounds like they've thought about that too.
They have, yeah. CyberComply includes what they call an audit readiness mode.
Audit readiness mode, what does that do?
Basically, this feature lets you run internal mock assessments. You can sort of simulate the audit process and get thoroughly prepared for your official evaluation by a C3PAO, the Certified Third-Party Assessment Organization.
Okay, so it helps reduce the stress and maybe the surprises during the actual audit.
That seems to be the goal, yeah. Reduce uncertainty. And, importantly, Armada Cyber Defense makes it clear that no FCI or CUI, federal contract information, or controlled unclassified information is actually stored or transmitted within the CyberComply platform itself.
Well, that's a key point. Addresses a major security concern right there.
Definitely provides some peace of mind on data handling.
Okay, that clarifies the features nicely. Now let's switch gears a bit to the practical side. What about pricing and subscription options?
Right. So for CMMC Level 1, the cost is listed as $960 per year. And currently, there's no monthly option for Level 1.
Annual only for Level 1. Got it. What about Level 2?
For CMMC Level 2, it's $245 per month, but that does require a one-year contract commitment.
Okay, monthly payment, but annual contract for Level 2.
Correct. And they also mentioned enterprise pricing is available if you're a larger organization with, more complex needs.
Makes sense. And what if someone wants to sort of try before they buy? Any options there?
Yes. They offer a 15-day free trial, which apparently gives you full access to the platform, lets you evaluate everything thoroughly before you decide on a subscription.
15 days, full access. That's pretty decent.
Seems fair. It's also worth noting they offer a 20% discount if you opt for an annual subscription instead of the monthly payments on Level 2.
Okay, an incentive for paying upfront annually.
Right. And one more thing on pricing. If you start with a Level 1 annual plan and then realize you need to upgrade to Level 2,
Yeah.
they provide a prorated credit for the unused part of your Level 1 subscription. You can then apply that credit towards the Level 2 subscription cost.
Oh, that's quite fair. Avoids paying double if your needs change mid-year. Seems like a sensible approach to upgrades, yeah.
Now, I also noticed something about a multi-tenant option. Who is that aimed at? Ah, yes. The CyberComply multi-tenant platform that's specifically designed for organizations that are supporting multiple clients with CMMC compliance.
Like consultants or service providers?
Exactly. Think managed service providers, MSPs, managed security service providers, MSSPs, even C3PAOs themselves. Also, large prime contractors helping out their subcontractors or, independent cybersecurity consultants.
Okay. And how does the pricing work for that?
For the multi-tenant option, the pricing starts at $499 per month. That initial price includes up to 3 separate client instances on the platform.
And if you need more than 3?
Each additional instance beyond those first 3 costs an extra $150 per month.
Gotcha. So it scales for organizations managing a whole portfolio of clients needing CMMC help. Allows them to manage everything from one place.
That's the idea, yeah. Efficient management across their client base using a single platform.
Okay, that makes sense. So stepping back and looking at the bigger picture, how does CyberComply really position itself as the overall solution here?
Well, CyberComply really presents itself as a crucial partner for the defense industrial base, the DIB, in both achieving and then maintaining CMMC compliance. Armada Cyber Defense also highlights their team's expertise. They mention having CyberAB authorized cybersecurity consultants who can offer guidance for both Level 1 and Level 2.
So there's human expertise backing up the platform.
That's what they emphasize, yes. And they stress their ability to provide solutions tailored to what an organization actually needs, whether it's just starting with basic cyber hygiene for FCI or needing those more advanced controls for CUI.
So it sounds like they're aiming to provide support throughout that whole CMMC journey, regardless of where a company starts.
Precisely. They also point to the platform's built-in support escalation paths, regular updates to keep pace with any changes in CMMC requirements, which is important.
Very important, yeah. Things change.
They do. And also comprehensive reporting capabilities. All these pieces are pretty essential, not just for getting certified initially, but for showing ongoing compliance later on.
Makes sense. Now, for organizations that might be thinking about expanding their own services in this area, I saw something about a channel partner program. What's that about?
Yes, the CyberComply Channel Partner Program. It looks like a pretty significant opportunity for other organizations, maybe MSPs, consultants again, to become authorized representatives for the platform.
Okay, so they can resell or represent CyberComply. What are the benefits for them?
Well, the main benefits seem to be competitive revenue sharing, so commissions on sales and subscriptions they bring in. Partners also get exclusive support resources, things like training, marketing materials, technical help. Basically, tools to help them effectively sell and support CyberComply.
So it lets them add a CMMC solution to their offerings without building it themselves.
Exactly. It allows partners to offer this, client-ready tool that simplifies CMMC, helps them expand what they can do for their clients without that huge upfront development cost and ongoing maintenance hassle. And Armada Cyber Defense points out that CyberComply is already being used. It's trusted by organizations actively preparing for CMMC certification, federal contracts, and generally improving defense supply chain security.
So it's a way for other businesses in the ecosystem to leverage Armada's platform and expertise to serve their own clients better. Makes sense. How would someone find out more if they're interested in becoming a partner?
They've provided a specific email address just for partnership inquiries. It's partners@armadacyberdefense.com.
Partners@armadacyberdefense.com.
Got it. Anyone interested should probably just reach out there directly.
Okay. And finally, wrapping things up, what's the sort of overarching message from Armada Cyber Defense to organizations looking at this whole CMMC transition?
I think their core message really emphasizes a transparent and cost-effective path towards CMMC compliance. They seem focused on making the process as smooth, as efficient as possible, trying to minimize the disruption to a company's day-to-day operations.
This disruption is always good.
Always. And they strongly encourage listeners, anyone facing this, to reach out to them directly, schedule a consultation, learn more about how CyberComply might help secure their organization's future in this, pretty complex regulatory environment.
And they provided a direct contact for that.
Yes, they did. It's Luis G. Batista, C.P.M, CPSM, and the number is 305-306-1800, extension 800.
Okay, 305-306-1800, extension 800 for Luis Batista. Good to have a direct line. So to kind of bring this all together, what would you say is the key takeaway from our deep dive into CyberComply today?
I think the central takeaway is that CyberComply from Armada Cyber Defense really offers a focused, quite comprehensive platform. It's specifically designed to help organizations, particularly those in the DIB handling CUI, to navigate the complexities of CMMC. It packs in a pretty wide array of features, from the detailed guidance and the automated documentation like the SSP and POANM to tools for audit readiness, ongoing support. And the main goal behind it all seems to be streamlining that certification process and ultimately strengthening an organization's overall cybersecurity posture.
That's a really clear summary. A dedicated tool aiming to simplify a complex requirement. Okay, and just to leave you, our listeners, with something to think about. As this whole regulatory landscape for cybersecurity keeps evolving, and it definitely is.
What proactive steps can organizations take beyond just getting that initial certification? What can you do to ensure not just long-term security, but also maintain a competitive edge in these industries dealing with sensitive government data? It's a pretty crucial question to keep mulling over as you navigate this dynamic environment. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.